Hi, sixth graders. This is Miss Reynolds, and I'm going to go through our study guide real quick. So, I told you the best way to do it is for you to work the problems first and then to come check your answers with me, right? So, go ahead. If you have not worked these problems, that's what you need to be doing independently by yourself. If you cannot do it by yourself, then try just one problem by yourself. See how far you can get. Because tomorrow on the quiz, you have to do it by yourself, right? So you need to know how far you can get. All right. If you can't do it at all by yourself, then watch me and then you can try some others by yourself. If you're here to check your work, give me just a second. I'm going to show you the answers, okay? All right, so if you are here and you have not worked a problem, I want you to stop the video right now. It will do you no good just to write down the answers, okay? All right, so stop the video and do the work and come back. Okay, so I'm going to assume that everybody watching at this point has done the work and wants to check their answer. So the answer to number one is 263 and 5/7. 263 and 5/7. Remember, we're not turning remainders to decimals on this quiz. Okay, I'm going to put that up. And now, if you got it right, go on to the next one. If you did not get it right, watch me work it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is try to divide 1 by 7. I can't do that, so I'm going to go over and try to divide 18. 18 is larger than 7, so I can divide it. The easiest way to do division is to make a fact box. So over here I have a fact box and I'm looking for 18. It's not in there, so I have to go less than 18. So less than 18, the largest number that is less than 18 is 14, which is 7 times 2. So 2 goes above the 8, right? Because I divided 18. I did not divide the 1, so we should have put a 0, right? Okay, now we're going to look at my steps over here, multiply. So remember, don't move your pencil off of this 2 until you think, what am I doing next? When you do, you can do the little dots like I've said in class. Boom, boom, and 14. 2 times 7 is 14. Notice that you don't even have to think about it because it's over here. Right here, right? Okay. Next step, subtract. You're going to get 4, right? 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay. The next step is to check that 4 is less than 7. Yes, it is. So the next step is to bring down. So now I have 44. So the next step is to repeat, which means rover start over. Go back to division, which means go back to my fact box. I'm looking for a number 44 or less. 49 is too much. 42 is where I'm going to have to go. So that is 6. The 6 is what goes at the top, right? Then you do boom, boom, boom. 6 times 7 is 42, and you're down here. We're going to make that 4 again. 42. Okay, and then the next thing you do is what? Look at your steps. That was multiply, so we are at subtract. 44 minus 42 is 2. Oops. Okay, the next thing we do is what? Check. Is 2 less than 7? Yes. So I see us at school, some of us not checking, and then sometimes we get a crazy answer. So you have to have something here that's less than your divisor when you subtract. Then you can bring down, and we have 26. Go over. Where is 26? It's not here. 28 is too much, so I'm going to need 21, which is the 3. So the 3 goes on top of the 6 that I just brought down. Then not going to move my pencil until I know what I'm doing. I am multiplying. Yes, 3 times 7 is 21. And then we're going to subtract. 26 minus 21 is 5. We're going to check. Is 5 less than 7? Yes. Is there something to bring down? No. Am I turning this into a decimal? No. So my remainder is 5 leftovers out of the 7 I need to make a group. Okay. All right. Let's go on to problem 2. If you have not worked problem 2, you need to stop the video and work problem 2 and come back. If you're waiting to see the answer to problem 2, give me just a second while people shut off the video. Okay, I'm going to assume that you are back, ready to see the answer to number 2. It is 8 and 549 thousandths. So 8.549. Okay. If you got it right, go on to the next, skip on through the video to the next question. If you missed it, work it with me. Okay. Or check your work, see where you missed it. Okay. So first thing I want to do is say, can I get a group of 3 out of 2? No. So let's put a 0. Can I get a group of 3 out of 25? Yes. Box of 25. Ooh, ooh, ooh. What was the first thing I should have done, y'all? First thing I should have done was bring that decimal up right above. See how it's going straight up. I'm going to draw a red line from the bottom to the top. See, it comes straight up, right? Okay. That's the first thing you should do. Now, it's very important to keep your numbers in place value so that your numbers that are supposed to be before the decimal stay before and the ones after stay after. Okay, so let's divide 25 by 3. Let's look at our fact box that I've made. I need 25. 27 is too much, so I'm going to back up to 24, and that is an 8 for my quotient above the 5 here. Remember, don't move your pencil until you know what you are doing next. Next would be, this is divide if I'm up here above the line, right? So next would be multiply. Boom, boom, boom. 8 times 3 is 24. And remember, it's right here for me, right? 24. Okay? What's the next thing I do? Subtract. 25 minus 24 is 1. I check, is 1 less than 3? Yes. So now I can bring down the 6. Okay? So now, what's the next thing I do? Bring down, repeat, rover, start over, divide, which means I need my fact box. Okay, 18. Oh, it's so close, but it's too high. So I got to back up to 15, which means I'm using the 5. Yes. Now notice that this is the next box, which is after the decimal, right? Okay. Now I'm up here at the top, so I know I have to get down to the bottom. So I boom, 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 multiply, and that is 15, just like it says in my fact box, right? Right here. All right. What's the next thing I do? People usually don't forget this step. You subtract. 16 minus 15 is 1. Okay, check. Is 1 less than 3? Yes. So bring down your next, your next number. And that is a 4. So now I'm looking in my fact box for 14. 14, 14, 15 is too much. I'm going to back up. I need the 4. And it's going on top of the 4 I just brought down, right? Okay, now I'm up at the top. What do I have to do to get down to the bottom? Boom, boom, boom. So multiplication. 4 times 3 is 12. Okay. Now subtract, and I get 2. Okay, so what's the next step? Check. Is 2 less than 3? Yes. So now you can bring down. Oh, and aren't we happy? Because when we go to bring down this time, let me try drawing that the other way. When we go down to bring down this time, I bring it only 7, and I recognize 27 in my list of, just don't pay attention to that, in my list of facts. So there's 27, so I must need the 9. So put my 9. Now what do I do to get down to the bottom? Boom, boom, boom. 9 times 3 is 27. And we'll just make a 7 out of that little line right there, right? Okay. Cross them. Okay, and now I subtract, and 27 minus 27 is 0, and there's nothing to bring down, so I am done. So my answer is 8 and 549,000. Okay, go on to number 3. Okay, so you know the drill. If you have not done number 3, stop the video, do number 3, and come back. Okay, for everybody else who's done it, let's look. The answer is 1 and, oh my goodness, 3,378 ten thousandths, 1.3378. Okay, so if you missed it, we're going to work it. Okay, let's see, we're blue still. Okay, so the first thing I do is think about that first number. Can I get a group of 5 out of 6? Yes. We've been saying no, right? So this is not a 0. This will actually look. You're looking for 6. You found 5, and that is 1 time. This actually divides. So now I have to think, how do I get down there? Multiply. 1 times 5 is 5. And then I need to subtract. 6 minus 5 is 1. And then I check. 1 is less than 5. So bring down the 6. Okay, so I have 16. 16 is not in here, but 15 is, so I'll have to back up, and I will be using the 3 over the 6 I just brought down. Oh, golly, I hope y'all are yelling at me. Ms. Ray, you forgot the call. Yes, I did. I'm sorry about that. Whoop, didn't mean to do that. Okay. So, yes, you should have put the decimal straight up because you want to make sure your numbers go on the correct sides of the decimal. Right? Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Okay. So now I had just brought down 16. I put the 3. I was up here 3 times 5 is 15. And now I subtract. 16 minus 15 is 1. I check. Is 1 less than 5? Yes. Bring down. I'm bringing down an 8. Look over in our fact box. Do you see 18? You won't see 18, so you're going to have to do what? We got 20, but that's too much. So you're going to back up to 15, so we're using the 3 again. Okay, I'm up top, so that means I just divided. What do I do next? Boom, boom, boom. Yes, multiplication. 3 times 5 is 15. Then I subtract, right? 18 minus 15 is 3. Then I check. Is 3 less than 5? Yes, it is. So I bring down. Here's a 9. Okay, let's go over that fact box. I know 40's in there, but that'll be too much. Yep, so I'm going to back up to 35, which means I need to use the 7. So remember, guys, if we're not putting the numbers up here, you're not going to have an answer when you finish, right? Okay, 7 times 5 is 35, which is sitting in my fact box, all right? Now I should do what? Subtract, yes. And I get 4. I'm almost out of room here, right? Fortunately, it's going to be over in just a second. Okay, I check. Is 4 less than 5? Yes. So I do what? Bring down the 0. And I recognize that when I have a 0 on the end, I can definitely divide it by 5. So I'm looking for 40. There it is. That is an 8. So I put an 8 over the 0. Then I still have to multiply. 8 times 5 is 40. And when I subtract, I will get a 0. And there's nothing else to bring down, all right? Okay. All right. We're cooking with Crisco, right? Let's keep going. Okay, we are on number 4, halfway done. If you have not done number 4, stop the video and do number 4. If you have done number 4, give me just a second. Okay, I'm going to assume that everyone who's watching right now has done number 4. So let's check our answer. The answer is 211 and 26 40ths, or you might have simplified that to 13 20ths, but you do not have to simplify, right? Okay. I'm going to put that back and let's go. All right. So now we're to some 2 digits, right? So I've got 40 here, and over here on the side, I've done my fact box for 40. If you got this right, you need to go ahead on and check the next one. If you didn't get it right, work with me, right? Okay, we are in purple writing here. All right, so first thing I do is I'll look at the 8 and I think, can I get a group of 40 out of 8? No, I sure can't. I'm going to put 0, and then I'm going to move on over. Put a box around the 84 because that is more than 40, so I can divide it. So let me go over here and look for 84. Nope, nope, nope. There's 80, and there's nothing between 80 and 120. 120 is too much, so I'm going to have to use the 2. Yes, put a 2. Okay, I'm up at the top. The only way to get down is to go boom, 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 which is 2 times 40 is 80. You don't even have to think about it because it's over there in your fact box and you just saw it, right? Right here. Then you subtract 84 minus 80. Then you what? Bring down. Yes. Oh, nope, nope, nope. You check. Is 4 less than 40? Yes. You bring down. Okay, I encourage you, if you missed this, to stop the video right here and see if you found your mistake, or you can erase from this point on and do it correctly and then come back. Okay, I'm going to assume you're back and that you brought down the 6, so you had 46. And then you're saying, how many groups of 40 can I get out of 46? Well, when I check my fact box, there is no 46. 80 is way too much. So I'm just going to have to do 40, which is just how many groups? 1. Okay, then we're going to multiply. 1 times 40 is 40. And we are going to subtract. 46 minus 40 is 6. Then we're going to check. Is 6 less than 40? Yes. So I bring down the next 6. Well, this is frustrating because, again, 80 is too much, and I can only just do one group of 40. So I put the 1, and I multiply. 1 times 40 is 40. And then I subtract. And that will give me 26. Okay. So this will be 26 over 40. The remainder is 26 out of a group of 40 that you're trying to make. 26 out of 40. And we're not going to worry about simplifying right now. Okay, let's go on to number 5. If you have not done number 5, stop the video and do number 5. If you have done number 5, I'm going to show you the answer. It is 8 and 555 thousandths. All right, I'm going to put that back. All right. So if you missed number 5, you're working with me. If you got number 5 right, you're going on to the last one, number 6. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is say, can I get a group of 60 out of 5? No, so that needs a 0. Oh. What is the next thing I should do before I go on? Yes. Did y'all bring that decimal up? Right there, right? Okay, now I am confused about how this one's going to work, y'all. Oh, okay. No, I'm not. All right. So the next thing I do is try to divide 51 by 60. Can I do that? No, 51 is smaller than 60. I can't get a group of 60, so I'm going to go on to 513. So I have to say, 60 times what? Oh, I couldn't do the 1, so let me put that up there. Um, 60 times what is 513? Well, 540, that's too much, so it's going to be 8, right? Okay, and 8 times 60 is 480. Okay, again, y'all, look how easy that was because my fact box is sitting right here, right? Okay, then I subtract 3 minus 0. I'm going to need to regroup here, which will make that a 4. And now I've got 11 tens minus 8 tens is 3 tenths. So 33. So now I check. Is 33 less than 60? Yes, it is. So I get to bring down the 3. Okay. So now I've got 333. I'm looking for 6 is too much. So I'm going to need to drop back to the 5 right here. All right, I put my 5 in the answer place, the quotient space, and then I think 5 times 60 is, and I check it over here, 300, right? Now I subtract and I get 33, right? So I say, is 33 less than 60? Yes. So I bring down. Now I have 330. Okay, let's go back over here. Can't do 360. I got to drop back again to 300, so that'll be 5. I do see the problem with this one. Okay. So 5 times 60, yet again, we're doing it again, is 300, right? Now, y'all, I'm going to subtract, and what's going to happen? I'm going to have what? Yes, 30 left. Okay. Now, the problem with this is I told you guys you weren't going to oh my goodness. You weren't going to have to bring a decimal down. Um I mean a zero down, right, for the test tomorrow. But that's the only way to do this one and I am sorry I miscalculated. You will not have to do this tomorrow. If you have a decimal problem tomorrow, you're not going to have a remainder, okay? But as we've been practicing this week, I'm going to put the extra 0 in the place value and bring it down since this is a decimal number and I can't use a fraction remainder. Okay, this time I have 300 exactly, which is back to that 5. 5 times 60 is 300. Okay, remember, tomorrow you don't have to put the 0, but from now on we will be putting the 0. So I'm sorry if that confused anybody today. All right, let's go on to the last problem. Okay, on your sheet, it had a decimal, but I was afraid that this wouldn't work out, so I caught this one. So I changed the decimal to a comma. Okay, the main thing is that you are getting the practice with a 5-digit dividend, which actually we've done in class. I don't know if any of y'all have noticed we've had some 5 digits. Okay. All right, and I'm dividing by 70, so we've got a fact box over here. If you have not done this problem, stop the video. Remember, this is going to be a comma, not a decimal. I'm not going to put it down here because I don't want anybody to think it's a decimal. Go ahead and stop and do this problem. Okay, if you're here to check your work, last one, see if you got it right. 926 and 60 70ths, which you could simplify to be 6/7. Okay, so we're going to put that back. Okay, ready? If if you got that right and you've gotten everything right, then you are done with the video. Sayonara, see you tomorrow. Oh, that rhymed. Okay, if you did not get that right, stay on here with me and let's go over this one, all right? Okay, here we go. First number here is a 6. So I want to say, can I get a group of 70 out of just 6? No, certainly not. So I'm going to keep going over. Can I get a group of 70 out of 64? If I'm not sure, y'all look. Do you see anything less than 70 over here? No. So that would be a no. You cannot. So you're going to have to go all the way over here to 648, which means I should have a 0 here because I couldn't divide 6, a 0 here because I couldn't divide 64, and now I'm at 648. So let me go in my fact box. Whoa! 648 is a little more than the biggest number I have here, 630, right? So I'm going to have to use the 9. Okay, 9 times 70 is 630, right? Okay, so now I subtract. 8, 4 minus 3 is 1. I check. Whoops. I check to make sure that 18 is less than 70. It is, so now I can bring down. Bring down the 8. Okay, so now I have 188. Let me go over here. 188, 188, 188. Okay, so 210 is too big. That's bigger than 188. So I'm going to have to go back to 140, which is a 2. So put a 2 up here. And then think, what am I doing next? Boom, boom, boom. 2 times 70 is 140. Right, next I subtract, right? 8 minus 0, 8 minus 4. Okay, now I check. Is 48 less than 70? Yes, it is. So I bring down my last number. And since this is not a decimal number, we are going to have whatever is remaining is going to be our fraction. Okay. All right, so 480. Oh, I just missed 490. 490 is too much. So I have to go back up to 420, which is 6, right? So the 6 goes above the 0. Then I think, wait, how do I get down there where I'm subtracting? I have to multiply. 6 times 70, 420. Okay, and then I do what? Subtract, yes. So we're going to have 0 minus 0. 8 minus 2. Whoops. Okay. And then I check, is 60 less than 70? Yes. Is there anything to bring down? No. Am I doing decimals today? No. So this is my remainder as a fraction, 60 over 70, because I have 60 left out of a group of, I'm trying to get 70, so 60 out of 70. Now you might see that these could both be divided by 10, so you could say 6. Oh my gosh. 6, 7. All right, guys. I hope that was helpful. Work back through if you need to go over them again.